are you doing? How are you? I hope you're doing very well. I have been playing Stardew Valley for... Wait a minute, let me click on it. There, now it's moving. I've been playing this game for so many years now. But with the new 1.5 patch, I said let's give it another try. And maybe actually try, like, finishing the game. What is finishing the game? Now there's a clean way to know. But, me, it was more purchasing those 2 million gold things and whatnot. So, I started a new farm. I used the new map. I changed the rules and made it complicated as I could. Apart from when you sell stuff to only get like 25% of its value. And I was like, I'm gonna do this for a YouTube video because I've seen other people explore their farms for ASMR. And I've always been jealous because I'm not good with beauty and aesthetic. I see stuff and I'm like, wow, that is amazing, and I can improve on it and all that. But when it's like coming up with it myself, struggle. Hope you don't mind. It's open, so I'm not gonna shake it. I just need a quick little swig. You know, let's get some liquid sounds, why not? And I thought, let's put a little twist. This time, while filming, since I don't have anything planned for tomorrow, apart from watching Drag Race UK, I'd indulge in one of my personal creations. A little friend. Really good. And in about an hour or so, when we're done exploring the farm, and I'll be reading you part of my book called Fablehaven. Not my book, a book I have. We'll see some special effects happen to me. If you're curious on the book I'll be reading, it's actually 2 books in one. But it's a book. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that after. Let's just get to the Stardew Valley. You've been staring at the menu now for a while. I'm terrible with introductions. Okay. I'm so excited. These are my past farms, by the way. We have the first one I ever made, which I kind of played at the same time as a friend of mine. I've just called it Rosie Thingy Farm. Kept it simple. I put 88 hours. Then there were new farms added to the game, so I tried the Hilltop. Put 75. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why I came back again, but I got to 60. Okay. And then I played this with friends. I don't know when I created this. I think for me 40 hours is easy to put into a game, so this is like nothing serious. This was to play with another guy, but it didn't work out. No, let's just get it out of there. And this is my new one where I've surpassed my 88 hours. Conch Farm. I'm on year 4. It's actually the furthest I've gone as well. Okay, let's dive right in. So we wake up in my excessively large bed made of hardwood. I made this, actually, I commissioned Robin, the carpenter, to make this carpentress. The carpenter. And it's one of the special quests she gave me. But yep, so I have a big open room here that leads right to the front door because I'm currently living in a studio apartment, so I'm kind of used to it. I put the bed right beside the TV. I know you can't watch it at night, but it's fine. And so that way I can check the weather, which right now I can hear it's raining outside. That's why it's dark. Tomorrow it's going to be beautiful and sunny. There's a special forecast for the Fern Islands. I have not seen this. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day as well. Oh, that's cute. You know the fortune teller, where they talk about the spirits being in good humor, show a little bit of extra luck. And luckily, today is an episode of the Queen of Sauce, where we are privileged to learn a new recipe. Greetings, it is I, the Queen of Sauce, here to teach you a new mouth-watering recipe from my secret cookbook. This week's dish, Lucky Lunch. I don't have this one yet, I don't think. I'll see. An old legend has it, this meal is irresistible to spirits of luck and fortune. After consuming it, you're likely to attract a good spirit into your belly, where it will bless you with good fortune until the meal is digested. Sounds weird, huh? I can't say I believe it, but the meal is delicious nonetheless. Oh, you already know. I haven't been reading the message. I've just been skimming through it every day, so I've probably learned all the ones from TV I can. Let's move this. Oh, what is this? I have a dresser now, apparently. Okay. This is my doggy. I named him after my IRL dog that is currently back at home with parents. Simba. I also have a horse named Ebono. We'll get to her soon. But yep, love the doggy. I don't really know what I want to do with the house, in all honesty. There's so many creative projects, but I'm more in like collecting, earning. What's the word for making everything automatically go on its own? There's a word for that. Automizing, I guess. And this is my roommate, Krobus. I've never seen them in this mood before. 8 out of 14. I should give them a gift. Rejecting the hug. What? I've never seen them like this before. There's days where they don't talk and they say ... and every day you give them a hug and they're usually happy. Let's go fix this. Up here you've got the nursery, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to collect all the wall banners and put them here. Then I have this room up here, which I was going to try to give an aesthetic like plants and cute. So this is me trying to style a room. Yep. Pray for me. So their name is Krobus, and Krobus likes to create furniture, I've noticed, and just leave it around the house. So that's probably why that was hiding there. Oh, speaking of, I actually have urchins, and you could put hats on them. Because just like in real life, if you give them a tiny thing, they'll usually use it as cover or something like that. Krobus is also responsible for the wallpaper and changing of this room, which I was kind of like, what? But yeah, we got a catalog where you can have access to all of the wallpapers in the game. Wait a minute. And floorings, of course. Okay. And then I have my organization here. I've got minerals of all sorts collected here. I've got foraging and flowers, some ginger, hazelnuts, mushrooms, roses, and tulips. Oh, where are my roses? There are no roses in this game. Well, there's a fairy rose, I guess. Still. This is trash, just like we all thought. This is monsters and disgusting things. I put them in there. Icky cookie. I have my fish organized in two places. My fridge, because I use them to cook. And this is like the others. So like a lobster and crab and all these designs that are all contradictory and whatnot. Plus I keep the things I find at the beach or on the shore that wash up. Plus tools that I can use with my fishing rod to enhance the gettingness of fish. Here is my seeds collection. So trees, pomegranates, peach, orange, mango, cherry, apple, apricot, and then the normal boring 4 kinds, plus all my fertilizer and speed grow and stuff. And slime eggs, which I now realize should probably go in the monster area. Here I keep crafting items, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I always forget I have this chest. It's like things you can place. Like, there. Got a cute little guy. Can't pet it, okay. Pardon me. Oh, and of course, some clothing. And I have plants to put outside. I pretty much maxed out where I could put plants, but if I had somebody else show me, they'd probably find a new place. Here I've got like the basic resources that I go through a lot. So wood, sap, stone, clay, fiber, hardwood, ooh, batteries, and a chest. Why not? In this fridge I keep my vegetables. Oh, I love it's just pixels, but it's so cute, I find. This is like almost all green. When in doubt, just eat leafy, dark leafy greens. They added taro, which I am not a fan. I am very much not a fan. All my friends love taro. Every time we got bubble tea, they'd always get taro, and I was like, honeydew, peach, mango, strawberry, lychee, passion fruit, melon, banana, and you choose taro. Judging. This is the main fridge with all the fruit. Pineapple, banana, strawberry, starfruit, ancient fruit. Yep. And you can cook meals here based on what you have in your fridges and mini fridge. And that's why I have 4 fridges, because I need all the space I can get. This one I'm gonna keep like the others. So the rice, oil, sugar, vinegar, wheat flour, and then my eggs, my good eggs. Did I put them here too? Yeah, okay. So here are my eggs and milk, jam, wine, cheese, pine tar, maple syrup. I don't think any recipes need these two, but just to be sure, I kept them in the fridge. Void mayonnaise, truffle oil, pale ale, mead, mead, and mayonnaise. This is the fish. see how they pretty much all kind of look the same, but the way that they're all like that, you know what I mean. Wait, is this actually? No, it's this way. Yeah, so I kept like the main fish in here, plus the blobfish. Down here is my cooking space. I'm thinking of organizing them by desserts versus meals and snacks. So like bean, blackberry, bruschetta, crispy base, pass, fruit salad, yummy, yummy, fruit salad, yummy, yummy, na na na. Red plate, sashimi, tropical. Oh, I want sushi. I want sushi so badly. Okay. Then I got all this, so much stuff, such a variety. That's the lucky lunch. I like to keep 2 of everything, just because if there's a birthday that pops up, a request, or Christmas, anything, I want to have what I need ready to give people. Plus, it's just fun to collect in general. If it's not cooking though, because cooking's more elaborate, I'll get 5 of everything, just because it's much easier in my opinion. And this is where I want to keep like the best of the best. So, you see the little purple stars? That means it's the highest quality it can be. So if you were to sell it or give it as a gift, it would be worth a lot more. And specifically mead, pale ale, wine, cheese, you could put those in casks in your basement, your cellar, and let them age for a long time. But once they come out, they will be a purple star versus the normal. So my goal is to get 5 of them. I have 3 left over here. I've got some beer done as well. The cheeses, I've got 2 of each. Just got a big collection here. Even a dinosaur egg. Yep. An ostrich egg. And this is where I just put the extras. Like I have duck feathers and rabbit foot. The fact that one rabbit can drop more than 1 is concerning. And here I display my golden pumpkin, which I found during the Halloween event, which happens on the last day of fall every year. And if you complete the maze, you find this. It's worth a lot of money, but I've already sold it, so I don't need to anymore. What do I keep here? Oh, right. I keep that for the fair. So down here is my basement. It's just filled to the brim with casks because it's the only location which they can be stored. And they're the ones that allow me to age the products. So if you get like ancient fruit, which is really luxurious, that's not the word I'm looking for. Lucrative. Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for. It doesn't work anyways. If you get that, you turn it into wine. It takes a while. And then you leave it in here for 3 months. It'll become purple quality, the best. And then you sell them. And from this basement alone, I make about 1 million. 1 million. If you look at my total earnings, it's 9. So yeah. You might be wondering, why is there that one cask though that's like empty? Because there is a specific product you can make called fairy dust. Oops. Crafting. And this, you sprinkle it on your casks and instantly receive the product. Except it's not specific because you need, since the order is normal, silver star, gold star, purple, you need 3. Because 1 fairy dust brings you only up 1 increment. So imagine that's a lot of diamonds and fairy roses. But I keep that 1 cask just so I can advance it myself. This is my tea plant. At the end of the month, it provides tea leaves, just not the winter. So here we come to outside. Yay, welcome to the farm. If I just walked it slow the whole way. Here we have my statues, which provide me with riches and fortunes every day. And if it's someone's birthday, this provides me with their favorite gift. That's nice. I'll store them in here for now. These are my tools. So this is where if I had a player two, they could live. I even have a jukebox to play music, but it doesn't work in the rain. So I've got 2 peach trees, or pomegranate, I don't remember. They're both my favorite fruit in the game. Just a little house waiting for someone to move in. Even with a box of parsnip seeds to get them started. You know, there's a lot already to work with. If we go down here, we have my doggy's bowl and a little space I put for him to sit down. But it's probably going to get wet now. And here are my strawberries, my coffee seeds, blue jazz flowers. I've got kale, my other tea leaves, green beans. And then I've got a little hut here where the Junimos live, but they're hiding because it's raining. And you can allow them to come outside and collect your crops for you. I don't think doing that will make them do it. No, it's really raining. But yeah, they can be helpful. They're also really sweet. And I've got some scarecrows, my favorite ones, put around the hut. And they will cover the entire vicinity to protect all the crops from crows. Got my radishes, my garlic, fiber seeds to hide behind the greenhouse, my tulips, parsnips, potatoes, ancient seeds, which have not grown surprisingly. I thought it was on the 28th day of every month they would be ready. Got more strawberries, and then spring forage. Here I've got my cauliflower, which have turned into ginormous ones. That's lucky. And then I've got my blue jazz flower, providing all the bees, surrounding it with just better pollen so that they can provide me with blue jazz honey rather than regular. Down here I've got a huge area filled just with ancient seeds because I want to get that 10 million. Then down here I've got an area to collect batteries for when it rains and has a thunderstorm. Over here I've got my giant crops that I grew when I had a different layout with scarecrows and decided just to keep the one area on top. Then I've got fish ponds. I used it just very quickly to get the to get the roe, because I needed to turn that into caviar. And it was one of the bundles in the community center when you randomize it. So, yep, I used sardines because I had them. And this is my greenhouse. I feel like the time is flying. I don't want it to be the next day. I got my seed makers over here, and my plan was to get 2 of every seed possible in the game in here, apart from trees that are not fruits and tea. So I've got literally everything over here. Even, oh wow, in the back it grew. Yeah, so there's the ancient seeds and the rare fruits too. If ever I need to grow something and I'm pressed for time, I can use these 6 spots, 8 spots in the back here to grow whatever I want. Oh, and I also grew them from smallest crop to tallest crop. So in the front you got the little ones that hide in the ground, and as you get to the back you got the big stalks, the sunflowers, the corn, and the fairy roses. And all my sprinklers have been enhanced to cover 7 by 7 grid. These are the trees. You got peach, cherry, apple, pomegranate, banana, apricot, mango, and orange. Then over here we got another lovely house, decorated with a sculpture given to me by my girlfriend, actually. Yeah, I forgot we're dating. Oops. Yeah, Leah in the game is my girlfriend. I don't care for really any of the bachelorettes. If I ignored gender and sex, then actually I don't care about gender. If I ignored the sex, then I would probably go for case you don't know who they are, you've got... So Leah, she's one. She lives in the cabin in the forest after moving out from her family because of issues. And she's an artiste. I was going to marry her because I just wanted the room in the house to have a nice carpet, and she has a lovely one. But then I learned that Krobus can become your roommate, and I was like, sign me up. I said I was going to give him a gift. I should probably remember that. Then you got Abigail, Pierre's daughter, and she's really cool. She's a fan favorite. She plays the flute. So do I. She loves video games. She likes colors. We align well. You have Emily. She's a little bit older though. Yeah, she's got lovely blue hair. Lovely blue hair. And she's just really free. Too emo, but into D&D and into gaming as well. So I mean, maybe. Also likes motorcycles. Todd. Shane. Great story arc. Love the blue chickens. And kind of gives me daddy vibes. So like, meh. But when you marry him, the room you get has these mud footprints on the floor, on the ground, on the floor. And I can't stand it. No. I used mods to fix up how he looks after you close down Jojo Mart and free him from his oppression. And even after that, I used another mod to clean up the room in the house that he has, and it's like, all that work. Haley. GTFO. Penny, lovely. And I wanted to marry her when I first played the game for sympathy, to get her a better house because she lived in a trailer with her alcoholic mother who was mean. And then I was like, oh, I'll just buy her a house instead and get her mom a job and become good friends with both of them. You have Harvey, the actual daddy, but boring as he has nothing interesting. Like he's the doctor, and he likes airplanes, and he's really nerdy. I don't mean that based on it. Yeah, no, it is based on interest. He just looks really nerdy in the place. I used a mod to make him bigger, chubbier, and hairier, and I was like, okay, at least he's attractive now, but Krobus. Hi, love you. I need to get that 14 on 14. Sam. I kind of forget he exists, to be honest. He likes music. Awesome. He skateboards a lot. Cool. He likes to play D&D with Sebastian. Okay. He's kind of like me, actually. Hello, Fridge. We have a lot of interests, but he doesn't seem to go hard or go home. I just wanted to say that part. The go hard part. Anyways, Elliot, I totally forgot about him. He lives on the other end of the world. This is the world. You got my big farm, main town square, a few carpentry, community center, and park, and that kind of thing up here. And then you got like a few more houses down. You got the cabin in the woods, followed by the big ranch. You got the library and the blacksmith. Now the movie theater, which I never go to anymore, sadly. But then you have Elliot's cabin. What do we done there? And the stuff. Oh yeah, Meru. She's sweet. She's the sciencey smart one. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know about her. And there's Alex. It's kind of sad. He's the one I care the least about. But in my first save file, I married him because he was the only muscular one, and I was like, okay. He's so boring. Anyways, my girlfriend made this. All of that just for that. And here's the second kind of house. Very Stone Age. mountains and my farm on the exotic island. Oh, it's really raining in both areas. That's upsetting. Well, this is my other farm. Oh gosh. I just wanted to do the money route. I'll take care of the pretty stuff after. So I just filled it to the brim with ancient seeds. Yeah. Oh no, the fibers. They're breaking my crops. Got some trees. Oh, it's a cute little place. And you actually get a second house in the game. Yeah, I have not taken any time to do anything. And this is how you get back home. There you go. So, if we continue down here, got my apple tree area. So if ever you want to go apple picking, this is where you'd go. This is a nice little place where you can go fishing in the ocean, and I constantly forget that I have on the map. We've got some rice growing by the water. Oh, some apricots here, freshly grown from the tree if you're hungry. There's even a secret area down here, which I'm just kind of like, what's the point of it? Yeah, you can fish straight to the ocean as well. If you're playing hide and seek, I highly suggest you go there. Some wild horseradish. And we're back here. Got some mushrooms growing there. Oh look, there's more of my scarecrows. Got 5 Nights at Freddy's, a mouse. Down here we got a lady, or drag queen, I don't know. And then a snowman. I think that's, oh wait, I forgot one crucial detail. I made a little well here. This is my utility house. I'm basically always in here. This is where I make my wine. I've got a machine that gives me bait. Another one where I can make wood, recycle, make truffle oil. I can sew stuff. Okay. I have not used it yet. Make coal and a little loom. And these are all replicating different minerals for me. Because I'm still just going for money, I've put diamonds in all of them. So it takes a few more days. And it's self-sufficient, so you just put one diamond and it'll give you infinite diamonds. I've got my jam over here, my milk machines and mayonnaise machines, and then my furnace is up top. And then over here we get to the barn and the coop. This is where I got my little guys, my chickens, my dinosaur, my duck, and my rabbit. And over here, okay, actually now that all the hay's gone, I can fix this up. Got my sheep and my goats, my ostrich, my cow, and my pig. And they're all trying to sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot one. I thought they were sleeping. Okay. I'm gonna make a path here so it's not slow to walk through all the hay. This is actually where the greenhouse was before, but then I learned you can move it, so I was like, yeah, get it out of there. This is Grandpa's shrine. Yeah, you light a candle for every big achievement that you get. I just realized there's lovely pink flowers over here. And yeah, Grandpa's the one that gave me the purple statue at the entrance. And then in here, my little cave is a bunch of fruits that bats have dropped for me. So the eyes glowing in the dark. They're friendly. They give me fruits. I've got some more fruit trees over there and another house over here. Literally all looks the same though. There's my horsey. And we're back at the front. So that's the tour of this place. I'm excited to yeah, I wanted to make this, and when I am ready to make this summer in the fall, I'll make it too. So there is 106 hours of gameplay to show you this 36 minutes. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Stardew. Now let me very quickly put this up. Hi. You're gonna put me in the middle. The quality's not the best, but it's fine. And now I'm gonna leave the game on in the background so you have the sound of the rain, because it's actually really peaceful. Maybe I could turn it up a little bit. I can even do that so that it keeps moving. Oh, that's cute. Hold up, wait. Yeah. Let's cover up the middle part. I love it. I'm gonna click on the game. And just leave it like that. Oh, look at that opulence. That's so cute. Now, for reading, I've never been a big person on reading. Surprisingly. I don't know. When I was younger, I found cartoons and I was like, pictures. Heck yeah. And when teachers were like, it's reading time, you have to read, I would find any excuse I could to just not find the closest little book with pictures. Look at the pictures. That was how I spent every single one of them. And yeah. Then I found manga at the library. And I started reading Naruto. I can't roll my R while being quiet. Naruto. And then I found Hikaru no Go. Oh, Hikaru. Okay, kind of rolled it. Anyways. And Bleach. A lot of fun mangas. And that was like the first time I actually read the words. And not just for school. So then I found my first collection that I actually like read. And it was words, not just pictures. And it was called Warriors by Aaron Hunt. Something like that. Who's this? Brendan Mull. Okay. It's Aaron Hunt, I don't remember, but they are actually 4 people. 4 women, not just one person. And it's a story about a cat who lives in a house. And we're hearing their thoughts. So it's like, it's just like a person, but it's a cat. And they're like, oh my god, I'm looking out the window. I see a cat. Oh my god, it's getting into a fight with another cat. I should go join in. So it goes outside and gets basically pulled into the wild. And it starts to live within a tribe of cats. Warrior cats. Because they have society and everything. Yeah, and you get to meet all the other cats who live in the village and learn their names and what their personality trait is. And I was just really into it for some reason. Why not? And I remember in a sandstorm or something like that. I think she becomes his girlfriend or something. I was like, drama. And yeah, that was like the first time I actually read it. So when people were like, Sean, you should really start reading, it'll be good. I was like, don't worry, I read about warrior cats. I'm so cool. And then I think I was at the bookstore and I was told basically pick out a book. Like, it's time I read more. So find a book with the cover you find cool. And And oh boy, is she important to the story. She's such a bitch. Yeah. This is a story about two grandchildren who are going to visit their grandparents. Pardonnez-moi. Who are going to their grandparents to stay for some amount of time while the parents go on a cruise because somebody has passed away in their family, and their wish, like on the will, it said this much money is going to go and pay for a cruise that all these people have to go on, and their kids are not invited. So they're going to stay at the grandparents. And no one's thrilled for this. The kid's like, oh, do we have to? I'll just hide in your... The brother, that's his personality. He does not care for rules. He's young. He's just under 10 years old. And he's just getting in trouble. He's got a lot of energy, curiosity, and he's just a ball of energy that you love. Then there's his older sister, more of the main character, Kendra. Her brother's name is Seth. Her name is Kendra. She's like 12, 14, 11, less than 15, that's all I know, and older than 10. And she follows the rules to the T. She also has curiosity. She's not that witty. Her brother is. Seth is quite witty. But she's smart. She's more clever. Follows the rules, intelligent. Like, come on, I can come up with another part of her personality. She's appreciative of pretty much everything. She's great. She's a grateful person. She doesn't take anything for granted. So she's also easy to love is what I'm getting at. And the grandma is missing. Okay. I'll catch you to where I'm up to in the book, which is, since I said this is 2 books in one, when does the second book start? It's 354 pages in the first book, and I'm at 260. Okay. So if you don't want to know what this book's about, fall asleep now, or skip like a few minutes. But they go to the grandparents' house, and grandma's missing. She's sick, or she's going to see the sick family member. She's always not there, is what I'm getting at. So they're kind of like, are you divorced or something? What? It seems sketchy. And the parents are like, bye, we're going on a cruise. We're not waiting for you. So they left. And they're both there like, hi, Grandpa. I don't know you that well. I only see you at like people's funerals and Christmas maybe if we're lucky. So they enter this big mansion because they live on a big plot of land isolated for them. And inside this house, you've got like just a lot of rich people things. It's beautiful mahogany tables, couches that nobody's allowed to actually sit on, but they're there to look at. You got like a kitchen that is enormous with a second area to it that's behind 2 flippy doors. And there's a maid and a groundskeeper. And there's like 3 stories to the house plus the attic. And I think there's 2 basements, but they don't go into that too much. In the front yard you see lots of flowers of so many different kinds and colors, of different sizes too, all around the front of the house, going around the sides and to the back. You've also got like a hedge maze on the side with a big statue in the middle, and a enormous pool in the backyard too. And the pool, I will always remember the description. It's a black brick, cement, I don't know, it's a black solid surface, the inside. And there's no sidewalk, there's no path around the pool like there normally would be. Instead, there are stepping stones. You have different heights all around to simulate a pond. And I'm like, I can see that so clearly in my mind. I have a hard time picturing things usually when they're described, but this one I can. So, yeah, I just love it because they spend a lot of time in the pool. Oh, what's that? I saw something move. Okay. So the kids are told you need to follow our rules. If not, we're gonna literally not let you leave the attic. We're gonna lock you in there. And they're like, oh God, what are the rules? Don't go in the forest. Because it's dangerous, there's ticks or whatever. You just came up with an excuse. I'll give you one good guess to figure out who you think actually lives in the forest. So yeah, don't go in the forest. And something else, I really don't remember. But yeah, I guess it wasn't that important. So he goes, this is the attic. There's a lot of toys. And there's a pet chicken they have to take care of, and maybe it'll even lay eggs. And something else I thought I remembered. This interesting sound. Oh, there's a telescope looking out the window. There's just things to do in there is what he's getting at. So he leaves them be. They start fighting over who gets to use what. And this isn't like your usual, like, I want to use this. No, I'm going to use it. Ugh. And then one kid is stronger than the others, so then they push them aside and they get to use it. No, these are like little adults having conversations. One of them will look in the telescope while the other one's playing toys, and then adjust something and go, huh. And the other one's like, what is it? And she goes, oh, it's nothing. And he goes, I want to use the telescope. She's like, you haven't been playing with everything in this room. I've only touched this telescope, and now you want to use it because I'm interested in it. And he goes, if you don't let me, I'm going to tell Mom about that thing that you did over there. And they're like, quick. She goes, you're not going to remember. We're going to be here for like at least a month. And so then he goes on the wall, sees a calendar, and marks it down. And it's like, man, you're really going for it, aren't you? So then, the boy's like, I'm bored. And the maid is a very lovely lady. She's really sweet, tall and slender with pale features. And she says, well, I can help you with that. So after some time, she comes back with these canvases that she painted, but they're number paintings. So she gives them the colors, and then you see, like here it says 1, so 1 would be blue, for example. But they're like intricate and really well made. Like, woman, you're an artist. How are you just sleeping on this talent? So that's keeping him company. And she's also getting bored. So Grandpa's like, here, it's a set of keys. If you find out where they go, it should be fine. And she's like, what? Okay, fine. She finds the first key pretty quickly because she's like looking. She's like, where do you think it would be? She finds it nowhere in the room, and then realizes there's a dollhouse that is a replica of the building they're in. So she opens it up and finds a jewelry box with the keyhole in it, and inside there's a chocolate. She's like, it's so good. Yep, so they go play in the pool after a while. I'm gonna say this the long way, by the way. I'm not keeping this short for you. They go play in the pool, and they brought a mirror with them and realized the insects are really interested in this mirror and staring at their reflection and stuff. And when they would flip the mirror, they'd just leave. And then, the mirror's back. Ooh, what's that? And you see the boy starts to take risky actions, being like, I dare you to go touch it or whatever. And she's like, no, you do it. And he goes, okay. And he grabs it and runs into the pool so he wouldn't get attacked by insects. And he was fine, though. And then he's like, I want to go check in the forest. And she's like, that's the one thing you said not to do. What do you mean? And he goes, yeah, but I mean ticks. I don't even, like, who cares? So she's like, he goes, you're not going to tell me, are you? She goes, I'm not going to lie, but I won't tell them unless they ask me. She's like, okay, fine, good enough. While he's in the forest, he's using his compass, and he's actually really smart with how he goes about leaving marks and trails for him to be able to retrace his steps. And he ends up finding this disgusting hut with this looking back at him. So it's a big stump in the middle, and there's a lady who's bleeding from her gums and fingertips as she's gnawing at this rope, a knot in this big rope in her hand. And it's also on the ground, you can see two of the other knots. Yeah. And she's like, I love her. Oh my god, the writing they did for this woman, it's like, she's so sassy. She has great comebacks. But she's like, hi. And he goes, hi. Oh my god, are you lost? No. Oh my god, you should come in. I'll make us some tea. What kind do you like? And he's like, I was told not to talk to strangers. And she's like, okay, you don't have to come in. Here's a wooden box instead. Put your hand inside. And he's like, no. She goes, oh, fine. And she pulls out a puppet. She's like, da, 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 da. And he just goes, yeah, I'm gonna leave. This is creepy. Bye. I don't think, does my grandpa even know that you live here? And she's like, oh, you're the grandson. And as he's like leaving, because he's just ignoring her and a little scared, he starts to like notice how the ground and the trees and stuff around him just like, wait a minute, that branch wasn't there before. I almost tripped on that. And whoa, that rock was not there. I need to go around it now to get back. I hope I don't get lost. Things were starting to happen that he was just a little suspicious about. When he reports back to his sister, they go through the usual, like, oh my god, what were you doing in the forest? Are you okay? Why are you so scared? What did you see? Who did you see? And then, the next day comes. I don't remember what Seth is doing. Probably going back into the forest just to get to know the area better. But the girl, Kendra, she gets to meet the maid and talk to her a little bit more about the paintings she made. And learn about so many talents this woman has. She's the cook. She cooks like Gordon Ramsay could never. She cooks insanely well, and such a diverse set of dishes and treats and all these things. And then she talks to the groundskeeper, who, when she went to go see him, caught him hiding something behind a bush. She's like, what? So she goes behind the bush and sees a tin full of milk, and the insects seem to gather and like it. So she's like, what? The groundskeeper goes, uh-oh, don't tell on me. I have extra milk from the barn that we don't use, and it's unpasteurized, so the insects seem to like it. So don't drink it or else you'll get sick. And she's like, okay. I'm trying to remember. I know that one thing happened, but what happened before? Alright, Seth found something else in the forest. A huge area, where you would probably host like a wedding venue, or not a venue, I don't know what part of it is, but like the party part. It's just a huge pond in the middle with a little island and some sort of statue or altar. And then after the water, it's a huge area around the pond with gazebos and vines attaching all of them together, flowers, doves, just chilling. And it wasn't ostriches, I think it was just, geese. Geese are just chilling there too. And so when she sees this, she's like, what the heck? You don't want us going in the forest because you don't want us to find your lovely area. Why are you lying to us? Like, so when dinner comes, he's like, I know you guys went to the forest. And they're like, yeah, but it's not fair. We shouldn't be locked in here. You lied to us. You said there were ticks. And he's like, I don't care, I'm your grandpa. And they're like, excuse me, maid, do you think this punishment is fair just because we broke your only rule? She's like, well, they do have a point. They said you lied. And it became a lawyer moment all of a sudden. He's like, alright, so what do you think the new penance should be for your punishment? And I believe that 14 days and 32 hours locked in the attic would be fine, but only between the hours of 4 and like, it went so specific. So they have their punishment. Okay, cool, whatever. Meanwhile, since they're locked in there, she's looking with the keys to find what else unlocks more stuff. And she realized they're only using half the attic, because outside there were windows on the other side of the house. But she's like, there's no door, so what's hiding over there? What was hiding over there? I don't remember. Anyways, they found the last keyhole. I don't remember how. But there was a lot of chocolates inside. So the boy, me being a little brother, I get this. I see chocolates, I'm like, give me it. So she decided to say half before he just stole them all. And in that last spot where they opened it with the key, there was a notebook that was entirely blank apart from the last page. Which the page said, drink the milk. And they were like, what? Oh, sorry. It felt like there was writing, but they couldn't see it, so they had to do lemon and heat the citrus thing to see invisible writing. But yeah, it said drink the milk. And they're like, what? And then she's looking at the telescope and sees him putting back the milk behind the bush and goes, oh, we're supposed to drink that milk. But that's unpasteurized, it's disgusting. So she goes with her brother the next day and they drink the milk and realize when you drink the milk, you can see magical things around you. And they're kind of like, so it's drugs. No. They are not living at their grandparents' house on a big resort where it's like the next house is away. No, they're living on magical grounds, a haven for magical creatures called Fablehaven. No wonder Grandpa never comes to see us. He's always busy taking care of this place because he's one of the 7 secret wonders in the world. 7 secret havens or whatever. Yeah. Then they're like, okay, you have to tell us everything. What here is magical? He's like, pretty much everything. And they're like, what? So what's in the forest? Well, there's the witch and the what? Oh, there's a bunch of stuff. And so they say that the milk allows you to see anything magical, but only for about 24 hours. So from now on, every morning, they would have milk in their breakfast somewhere, whether it be hot chocolate or a cereal or yogurt, anything. And you can tell I'm already getting a little bit because I'm losing my train of thought a little more easily now. What was I thinking? So they're allowed to have the milk now with their breakfast. And they learned that the pond with the gazebos that they saw is not actually just a beautiful area. The middle, the little altar, is where you can go to directly communicate with a god. I think it's the god of the fairies. And the pond is full of naiads who are ready to drown you if you approach too close. So they will seduce you because they don't feel time. They just live forever until the water's gone. And they're insanely strong in the water and stuff, so they're just beautiful all the time. And so that's why it's deserted, because it got really beautiful since some of the people they would seduce didn't go in the water right away and die. They first thought, okay, well, let's build a building to keep boats in so we could swim who, when seducing the women, he was smart. He didn't approach the water. He stayed back, and he almost kind of teased them, but not really. He was very respectful. Then one day he made a boat that could not be tipped over, and he went to the middle, and he was always talking to this one naiad in particular. So he went to the middle. He was basically saying, I'm going to do it for you. And he got, like, they played dirty or something, but they ended up tipping his boat, dragging him to the bottom. And that one naiad who he had been talking to the whole time and giving more attention than the others, she actually started to like him. So she decided to pull him out of the water, fighting against her sisters, saving his life and getting out of the water herself. And when naiads do that, they're exchanging their immortality for the life of a mortal. And that way she talks about how time feels totally different and things have much more meaning now. And she still she had her abilities, so she was insanely creative. She could create anything with paint and whatever. She was insanely fast in water, but didn't want to win too many competitions so that there'd be no suspicion. She even traveled everywhere in the world, read so many books, and when the man passed from age, she was like, fuck. And so now she's just really old and waiting for her time to come. So they have the maid, and the maid is that naiad, and that's why she talks about that's how she got to live in that house. The groundskeeper, I don't remember anything special about him. So they have the milk in their food. I don't remember too much of the rest. Oh my god, it's hard to think right now. I remember Seth, something big was that they met a man who came and was like, I sell fairies that you can then keep here to protect, and they will always come back to your house. They're not going to just go back to where they came from. They don't know. And he presents them, and he's like, they're so beautiful. Oh my goodness, this one can sing, and she glows in the, oh my god. And then Seth is like, wait a minute, how do you capture fairies? And like figures it out because he ends up capturing one himself. And when he goes to bed, he's puncturing holes in the top so he can breathe, and opening his sock drawer where he has a mason jar with one of them in it. And he's like, good night, I'll get you in the morning for some food. And she's banging on the window, like pleading for something, and her hands are together. She's begging and she's crying. And he's like, no, don't worry, I'm sorry, I'm really not gonna hurt you. Please don't be scared. Ooh. When he wakes up, the fairy, there was nothing in the jar, or there was something, I don't remember. Oh yeah, there was a disgusting imp in the jar. Like, it looked nasty. It was all black now instead of whatever color was before. It looked oily, and it just looked like something completely different. And so he's like, what the heck happened to the fairy? And he goes downstairs to let it eat, and it flies out and goes into the gutter. And he's like, okay, it's gone. Turns out people can use spells. People can use magic just as much as there is out there without even knowing it. For example, if you keep a fairy indoors overnight, it will turn into an imp. And that's essentially like, it bans you from your colony. So, oops. There's one big rule in physics, in magical physics though, which is, I cannot touch you if you have not touched me. Or more, I will not. Not that I won't, because sometimes they want to, but they just don't, because they know they haven't hurt me, so I can't hurt them. And the second thing is something else, but I don't remember. So he broke that boundary. Now they can touch him whenever they want. And as punishment, the fairies have all gathered together to cast like 76 hexes on him. And they were like, holy crap. So his body morphed into a grotesque creation of sorts. And I think they said like the main thing was he was like a dolphin. breathing out of his back or whatever. And they brought him to the witch in the forest and said, hey, I need you to fix this kid. And she's like, I have no magic, you know that. I don't have enough magic for that, that is. So she says, you know the price, and holds up the knot. And he's like, you have 2 left. This is not good. And he blows on it saying, I, Stan Sorensen, I think his name, willingly undo this knot. And then he blows on it. And you see it undo. But meanwhile, the fabric of space around them starts to like wave and move. And the witch just gathers all that energy that was released from the knot and to fix the kid. And he like describes how it was traumatizing for him because he was conscious for all that time, and yeah, he was really scared. And they leave. And that was what during one time where the witch had like the best comebacks ever. I was just kind of like, what? And I tried to find it for my mom. I wonder if I can find it for you guys. Oh, what is this? The wheelbarrow swag. Oh god, I wonder how much stuff that I actually missed that's important. But she has 1 knot left. She had 13 originally. Then there's this huge gnite that's coming, and it's essentially the purge, where there's no boundaries. You can go wherever you want to go. No one's gonna kill you. Or better yet, everyone does do it, and they probably get attacked, but everyone's already going, so I guess it's fine. It's the purge. And they're told, stay in your attic. It's got magic that will protect kids, but if there's an adult in the room, the spell doesn't work. Also put in these earplugs. We put salt around your bed. Don't open any windows. Just try to pass out for the night. You'll hear anything at the door. You'll hear someone say, it's me, Grandpa, please open the door. It's not me. That kind of like, they said stay there. We might die, but you need to live. And they're like, what? Why are you so scared? This happens every year. No. Yeah, but you kind of turned one of the fairies into an imp, so they all hate you. They're not protecting us at night because of that. And this is every 5th year, so it's extra hectic. During the night, they see a baby floating outside the window, and it's about to be killed. And so they end up opening the window. And the girl saw something extra creepy in the back, like a lady with I don't know, like drapes. And she was like, I can't look away from her. I need to look at her more. And it's still haunting her after the day. But then, yeah, so they let the monsters in the room. Luckily, Seth to the rescue, grabs a pinch of salt, throws it at the monsters, which burns them, grabs his sister, gets in the bed, realizes the chicken is in the room too, and ends up going with another fist of salt to save the chicken. So, like, you know, go Seth. Heck yeah. Why is my eyes so dry? And he's like, I'm so sorry for opening the window. Oh my god, I wanted to kill them. The next day, they realized the monsters went through the house as well, not just through the window. And they can't find the family. Like, everyone's missing, except for Dale, the groundskeeper, who was turned into a statue on the lawn. Or that at least there's a statue of him. So they're trying to figure out, what do we do? We have to find, someone, the witch, I don't know. And as they're thinking about all this, they hear cluck cluck. And they turn around, they see, actually, I think there's a picture. There is, where is it? I need to find it. Oh, is it here? Oh, but no, that's, I don't know, it's kind of dark. But this is them at nighttime with the monsters in the room that can't get onto them on the bed because there's a circle of salt protecting them on the floor. It's the first time I learned that she's also light hair skin tone. I was like, I thought you were brown. I love pictures, so the fact that this book has like one picture every 50 pages, I'm like, thank you. No, I know there's a picture. I saw it after. Oh, maybe it's not a picture, it's just they changed the font for that little bit. Oh, there it is. Got it. the chicken laid out the corn that it eats. And when they looked at it, they saw this. I am Graham. And they're like, Grandma, are you a chicken? And she's like, and they're like, Grandma, listen to me. Bob your head to like cluck twice if something, and they would get moments where it was like, cluck, cluck. It was like really trying to pay attention and never could. Because, I don't know, chicken brain. Something in my eye. So, they're like, okay, we gotta protect the chicken now. And, what did they do? They needed milk. So they're like, before we go to find help, let's drink the milk. Why is there none left in the house? Where's the milk? Okay, let's go check on the cows. And when they open the barn, they don't see cows. They see cow. One giant cow the size of the Eiffel Tower. Insanely long, big. It explains why this huge barn only has one cow, but what? And it looked like its bladder was going to explode, so it was like, please milk me. And they did it, but they had to get ladders to go up to the udders, and then they would basically cling onto it and slide down so that using their bodies they could hopefully milk it. And they said it spit like a fire hose, and then they like fell into it. They're like, bless. So they had to do that. What was it? 2 hours to milk it, and then they were like, we don't have to drink it. It's already in our systems at this point. And yeah, then they could see the things. They met some satyrs in the forest who love batteries and would exchange it for gold, but saved them from a big thing that wanted to eat them. They did not know how to help them, though. It seemed like they were hiding something, but yeah. Then there's what was it? Oh yeah, they went to the witch and they were like, turn Grandma back into a human, please. And they're like, the witch is like, that's Grandma. Okay, lol, you don't look good, sweetie. And when they do, they're like looking at the chicken. They're like, should we turn? They're like, this is her last knot. She's gonna be free if we do it. Should we turn her into a human? And the chicken's like, so they do it. And then during the transformation, the chicken goes crazy because she realizes, oh, it's the last knot. I thought she had 2 left. What happened? And yeah, so the grandma is left with her kids. The witch basically goes like, whoa, I'm free. All my magic is back. And then she looks back at the family, and Grandma's like, we did what you said. You have your freedom. Now go. And they talk like lawyers. I don't know. It's just really cool sometimes. She's like, I declare this makes us even. Like, do you agree? And the witch is like, fine, and leaves. So, yay, Grandma. Grandma, what do we do? Grandpa's gone, and the others. She's like, let's go talk to the troll. He always needs you to give him something in return, but he'll tell you what you need to know, because he has a thing that finds anyone anywhere on the planet. So they find him, they negotiate, and they're like, where's Grandpa? I think that's where I'm at. What is this, page 57? What is this? No, this is not page 57. I'm not here yet. Was that where I was at? Oh, I never finished this book, so I guess that's where I thought it. Oops. What chapter am I actually at? So yeah, grandkids go to grandparents' house because grandkids stay at grandparents' house, which they discover is a haven for magical creatures. And on one night when the irresponsible boy let monsters in the house, the family went missing the next day, to which they are now trying to figure restore Grandma along the way, freeing a witch. The far side of the attic. Oh, well, that answers that question. That's where I was at. Was the chapter just before that? It was with the troll. Yeah, so they go to find him and they end up getting him at the top of like this. He's like, you gotta climb on top of these logs and not fall to your death if you want to talk to me. It was above a river or something. And they did it. And that was the end of the chapter. Literally. Oh, right. He told them some information, but what she was gonna trade was the best massage she ever had. And it was. And they negotiated time and stuff. So, where did he say the grandpa's hiding? He's alive. Is the okay, so the naiad, his name is Lena. Is Lena with him? The naiad, sure, I saw her too. Was Muriel the witch? Her name is Muriel. Was Muriel in the vicinity? And then he stopped saying, oh, our agreement was one question for one answer, not two. One answer, not two. Yeah, so he saw Grandpa with the naiad and locked up. Where is he hiding? Stan is chained in the basement of the Forgotten Chapel. There we go. So now we're going to read the chapter 15, The Far Side of the Attic. Grandma refused to talk while they were in the ravine. She wore a dour, thoughtful, She wore a dour, thoughtful expression and hushed any attempts at conversation. Kendra waited until they were back on the path beside the covered bridge to try her question again. Kendra began. Not here, Grandma admonished. We must not discuss the situation out in the open. She motioned for them to huddle close and continued in a hushed tone. Let this suffice. We must go after your grandpa. Today. Tomorrow might be too late. We will return home immediately, get equipped, and go to the place where he's being held. I will reveal his exact whereabouts once we are indoors. Muriel may not yet know his English, and even if she does, I don't want that witch to learn that we know. Grandma stopped, whispering, and hurried them along the path. Sorry, I've been antisocial since leaving Nero. Who's Nero? Oh, the troll guy, I think. Sorry if I've been antisocial since leaving Nero, she said after they had walked in silence for a couple of minutes. I needed to devise a plan. You kids really did an exceptional job back there. Nobody should have to spend an afternoon rubbing a troll's feet. Seth was heroic on the logs, and Kendra did some well-timed bluffing during the negotiations. Who's gonna sound like that? You both surpassed my expectations. I never knew you were a masseuse, Kendra said. I learned from Lena the Naiad. She has collected expert instructions from around the globe. If you ever get a chance to receive a massage from her, do not turn it down. Grandma tucked some errant strands of her hair behind her ear. She became distant again for a moment, pushing her lips and staring remotely as she walked. I have a few questions for you two. Things we can talk about in the open. Have you met a man named Warren? Warren, Seth repeated. Handsome, quiet, white-haired skin. Dale's brother? No. I remember him. Oh, I just remember him existing, but who is he? Oh, there's even a golem, I forgot. Seth meets a golem that's working with the groundskeeper, and he's like, this is so cool. It's made of clay, and he's like, Gala, perform the next act Seth tells you, then only obey me again. And he's like, do a cartwheel. He's like, so he goes, here, let me show you how to do a cartwheel. And yeah, it's just a cute little interaction. Okay, where are we? Horrid. The groundskeeper's brother. No, Kendra said. They might have brought him to the house on Midsummer's Eve. Grandma brought it. Midsummer's Eve is the name of the purge. We were with Grandpa, Dale, and Lena until after sundown, but never saw anybody else, Seth said. I never even heard him mentioned, Kendra added. Me neither, Seth agreed. Grandma nodded. He must have stayed at the cabin. Have you met Hugo the Golem? Yeah, Seth said. He's awesome. I wonder where he went. Grandma gave Seth a measuring glance. I trust he has been attending to his chores in the barn. I don't think so, Kendra said. We had to milk the cow yesterday. You milked Viola? Grandma said, plainly astonished. How? Kendra described how they had set up ladders and slid down her teats. Seth added details about how milky they had gotten. Resourceful children, Grandma said. Stan had told you nothing about her. We found her because she was moaning so loud. Seth said she was shaking the whole barn. It looked like her udder was going to explode, Kendra said. Viola is our milk cow. Milk is spelled M-I-L-C-H. Our milch? Milch? I need to open Google real quick. What is a milch? It makes me think of a mill. Milk. C-H. Cow. Okay, milch. Milch cow. What is that? What? Milch cow. A cow kept for milking. A dairy cow. A cow that produces milk. Okay, but is it actually milk or milch? Oops. Definition. Yes. Dictionary usually sounds like milch. Milk. Okay, it's milk, yeah. I've never seen it spelled like that. That is so interesting. Okay. Our milk CH cow. Our milk cow, where's the milk cow? Yeah. Every preserve has such an animal, though not all are bovine. She's older than this preserve, which was founded in 1711. At that time, she was brought over from Europe by ship, born from a milch cow in a preserve in the Pyrenees Mountains. She was about 100 years old when she made the voyage, and was already larger than an elephant. She has been here ever since, gradually gaining size each year. Looks like she's about to outgrow the barn, Seth said. Her growth has slowed over the years, but yes, she may one day become too colossal for her current confines. She provided the milk the fairies drink, Kendra said. More than the fairies drink it. Her ancient breed is nourished and worshipped by all creatures of fairydom. Fairydom, yeah. They place daily enchantments on her food and make secret offerings to honor and strengthen her. In return, her milk functions as an ambrosia central to their survival. It is no wonder that cows are still considered sacred in certain parts of the world. She must make tons of dung. Another blessing. Her manure is the finest fertilizer in the world, coaxing plants to mature much more quickly than usual and sometimes to reach incredible proportions. By the power of her dung, we can reap multiple harvests from a field in a season, and many tropical plants flourish on its they get some tomorrow at the latest. So normally Hugo milks Viola, the golem. That makes sense, because he's big. Kendra surmised. Correct. It is a standing order, so there must be a reason he's not carried it out during the past couple of days. You've not seen him since Midsummer's Eve? No. He was probably assigned to watch over Warren in the cabin until summoned. Okay, I'm remembering a little bit more about him. He should come if we call. Could something have happened to him? Seth asked. A golem may seem like a little more than an animated matter granted elementary intelligence, but most creatures on this preserve fear Hugo. Few could harm him if they tried. You'll be our chief ally in rescuing your grandfather. What about Warren? Kendra asked. Will he help too? Grandma frowned. You know that because his mind has been ruined. Okay, I don't remember that. Dale has remained on this preserve mainly in order to care for him. Darren is lost. Warren is lost in a catatonic stupor. Fablehaven has many stories. His is another tragic tale of a mortal venturing where he did not belong. Warren will be no help to us. Anybody else? Seth asked. Like the satyrs? Satyrs? Grandma exclaimed. When have you met satyrs? I may have some choices. I may have some choice words for your grandfather when we find him. We met them by accident in the woods, Kendra assured her. We were taking stew from what looked like a well. Yes, I remember this part. And they warned us that we were actually stealing from an ogress. It was her chimney. Yeah. Those rogues were protecting their underhanded operation more than you. Grandma puffed. They have been pilfering her stew for years. The scoundrels didn't want to have to rebuild their thieving device. Probably sounded too much like work. Satyrs live for frivolity. The ultimate fair weather friends. Your grandfather and I share a mutual respect with various beings on this preserve, but there is not much more loyal than one would find out in the wild. There's no more loyalty. The herd looks on as the sick or injured are brought down by predators. If your grandfather is to be rescued on such short notice, it would be our doing, with none but Hugo to aid us. Damn, woman, you really don't like these people. Anyone else? It was late afternoon when they reached the yard. Grandma stood with her hands on her hips, taking in the scene. The ruined treehouse, the damaged furniture strewn about the garden, the gaping glassless windows. I'm afraid to go inside, she muttered. You don't remember how bad it is? Kendra asked. She was a chicken, remember? Seth said. We ate her eggs. Creases appeared on Grandma's brow. It feels like such a betrayal to have your home violated, she said softly. I know sinister evils lurk in the woods, but they've never crossed that boundary. Kendra and Seth followed Grandma across the yard and up the porch steps. Grandma stooped and picked up a copper triangle, attaching it to a hook hanging from a nail. Kendra remembered noticing the triangle dangling among the wind chimes. A short copper rod was linked to the triangle by a chain of beads. Grandma clanked the rod noisily around the inside of the triangle. That should bring Hugo, Grandma explained. She crossed the porch and paused in the doorway, staring into her home. Looks like we were bombed, she murmured. Such senseless vandalism. She roamed the gutted house in the somber days, occasionally pausing to pick up a damaged frame and examine the torn photograph inside, or to run her hand along the remnants of a beloved piece of furniture. Grandma climbed the stairs and went to her room. Kendra and Seth watched her rummage through the closet, finally withdrawing a metal lunchbox. At least this is intact, Grandma said. Hungry? Seth asked. Kendra slapped him on the shoulder with the back of her hand. What is it, Grandma? Follow. Downstairs in the kitchen, Grandma opened the lunchbox. She removed a handful of photographs. Help me lay these out. The photos were of the house. Each room was shown from several angles. The exterior was also displayed from multiple perspectives. In total, there were more than 100 pictures. Grandma and the children began spreading them across the kitchen floor. We took these pictures in the case of the unthinkable ever occurring, Grandma said. Kendra suddenly made the connection. For the brownies. Brownies are a magical creature that live, it's very quickly said. They have brownies, and brownies are dudes that just hide in your house. They live somewhere in there, and then they'll come out if you leave like materials or ingredients, and they'll make something with it. I forget what, they don't like anything in return though. They're just cool. So the brownies usually come out and fix the house. So Kendra suddenly made the connection. Oh, right, we have brownies. Clever girl. Oh, so she gives pictures so they know what to build. I'm not sure whether they'll end up for the challenge or consider the extent of the damage, but they have worked miracles in the past. I'm sorry this calamity befell us during your stay. You shouldn't be, Seth said. It happened because of me. Because I opened the window. You mustn't assume all the blame, Grandma insisted. What else can we do? Kendra said. We caused it. Kendra didn't do anything, Seth said. She tried to stop me. The whole thing is my fault. Yeah, he's really beating himself up over that, which is like, finally he's taking some responsibility, but yeah. Grandma regarded Seth pensively. You did not mean to harm Grandpa. Yes, you made him vulnerable through your disobedience. As I understand, you were commanded not to look out the window. Had you heeded the order, you would not have been tempted to open the window, and your grandfather would not have been taken. You must face that fact and learn from it. But the full blame for Stan's predicament is considerably more guilt than you deserve. That's a little bit mean. Anyways, your grandfather and I are the caretakers of this estate. We're responsible for the actions of those we bring here, especially children. Stan allowed you to come here to your parents as a favor, but also because we need to start selectively sharing this secret with our posterity. Right, they're thinking like, who's going to take over the reserve? Nobody in the family knows apart from them. I need to get eye drops. My eyes are getting dry. Just curious how many more pages in the chapter. Yeah, it's a long chapter, girl. Okay. Not bad. They will not be around forever. The secret will share with us, and a day came when the responsibility of this enchanted refuge fell on our shoulders. One day we will have to pass the responsibility on to others. She took Seth and Kendra by the hands and fixed them with a loving gaze. Oh, me too. I know the mistakes you made were not deliberate or malicious. Your grandfather and I have made plenty of mistakes ourselves. So have all the people who ever lived here, no matter how wise and cautious. Your grandfather must share the blame for placing you children in a situation where opening a window with kind intentions could cause such harm and destruction. And clearly the fiends who abducted him are ultimately the most culpable. Culpable. Kendra and Seth were silent. Seth scrunched up his face. If it wasn't for me, Grandpa would be here fine right now, he said, fighting hard not to cry. And I would still be a chicken in a cage, Grandma said. Let's worry about fixing the problem instead of the blame. Don't despair. I know we can set things right. Take me to Dale. Seth nodded, sniffing and rubbing his forearm across his nose. He led the way across the back porch, weaving through the garden towards their destination. There really aren't many fairies, Grandma said. I've never seen the yard so devoid of life. There haven't been many around ever since. when they stood over the painted life-sized metal statue of Dale. Grandma shook her head. I've never seen this particular enchantment, but that's certainly Dale. Can you help him? Kendra asked. Perhaps, given sufficient time, part of counteracting an enchantment is understanding who placed it and how. We found tracks, Seth said. He showed Grandma the print in the flower bed. Although the impression had faded a bit, it remained recognizable. Grandma frowned. It doesn't look familiar. Many creatures run wild on festival nights that we otherwise never encounter, which is why we take cover indoors. The print may not even be of a relevant clue. It could belong to the perpetrator or to the mound of the perpetrator's road, or it could belong to something that just happened to step there sometime during the night. So we just ignore Dale for now, Kendra asked. We have no alternative. Time is short. We can only hope that by rescuing your grandfather we can shed more light on what caused Dale's condition and find a way to reverse the curse. Come. They returned to the house. Grandma spoke over her shoulder as they mounted the stairs to the second floor. There are a few special strongholds within the house. One is the room where you've been staying. Another is a second room on the other side of the attic. What is in this attic? I knew what Kendra said. I could tell from outside there had been more than to the attic, but I could never find a way in. You were probably searching in the wrong place, Grandma said, leading them down the hall to her room. The two sides of the attic are not interconnected. When we get up there, I'll fill you in on my strategy. When Grandma crouched and picked through a broken nightstand, she found a few hairpins and used them to pile her hair into a matronly bun. Searching more, she located the key. She led them into the master bedroom, where she used the key to unlock a closet door. Instead of a closet, the door opened to reveal a second room. This one made of steel with a large combination wheel. A vaulted door. Grandma began spinning the wheel. 4 turns to 11. 4 turns right to 11. 3 left to 28. 2 right to 3. 1 left to 31. Half a turn right to 18. She pulled a lever, and the heavy door clacked open. Carpeted stains led up to another room. What? Carpeted stairs led up to another door. Grandma went up first. Seth and Kendra joined her in the attic. This side of the attic was even larger than the living room. Grandma flipped a switch, and several lights dispelled the dimness. A long workbench dominated one side of the room. The wall above it, covered with tools supported on pegs, and some wooden cabinets lined the other walls. Various unusual objects littered the room. A birdcage, a phonograph, a battle axe, and a hanging scale, mannequin, a globe the size of a beach ball. Trunks and boxes were arranged in rows on the floor, leaving just enough aisle space to access them. Heavy curtains concealed the windows. Grandma motioned them over to the workbench, where they perched on stools. What's in all the boxes? Seth asked. Many things, most of them unsafe. This is where we guard our most prized weapons and talismans. Spellbooks, ingredients for potions, all the good stuff. You can tell us more about Grandpa now? Kendra asked. Yes, you heard Nero say that Stan. Okay, you heard Troll that they got the information from. Say that Grandpa Stan and Lena the maid are being held in the Forgotten Chapel. Let me summarize some history to bring you the ramifications into view. I'm getting it all new in now. Long ago, this land was possessed by a powerful demon named Bahamut. For centuries, he terrorized the natives who dwelt in the region. They learned to avoid certain areas, yet even with these precautions, nowhere in the vicinity was truly safe. The natives made whatever offerings the demons seemed to require, but still they lived in fear. When a group of Europeans offered to overthrow the demon in exchange for a claim to the lands it haunted, the incredulous local leaders consented. busy, but in a good way, I guess. You can see I'm not going like this too much, but I know that I'm moving a little bit.